Hey everybody, it's Christina of CraftyPaws. I'm here to share with you guys a cute little springtime card that I have made as a guest designer for Scrapping for Less. The stamp set that I use for this card is called Just Ducky, and it's an exclusive by Scrapping for Less, and this is from their latest monthly kit. I'm going to share with you guys the entire process from start to finish, and first off, I've got a piece of cardstock that I have die cut into a circle shape, and I'm using a Tim Holtz stamping tool. It's a collaboration between Tim Holtz and Tonic Studios, and I'm using Memento Tuxedo Black ink, and I'm stamping it out twice for a clear, clean image. Now I've picked out some Copic colors that I thought would coordinate really perfectly with one of the pattern papers with this collection from Scrapping for Less. So I'm using some pinks here. Next, I'm going to use some of the blues and then some of the yellow greens or light kind of greens. And I'm just sharing with you guys simple Copic coloring. Usually, if you want to get a full range of blending done, you would use 3 colors from each color family, but these spaces are relatively small and I think the blending is coming out pretty clearly and okay. So I am just sharing simple Copic coloring blending with 2 colors for each of the colors used in this image. So I will also list all of the colors that I use to color up this entire image on my blog post, which will be in the description box below, the link to that. And you can see it's just a little tiny bit of blending. I'm using the darker shades at the base on the edges of each of the color segments, and then I go back in and blend with the lighter color and then back in with the darker color just to re-emphasize the shaded areas. For the green areas of the little ducky's hat, bill, and inside the umbrella, and the little button top at the top of his hat, and the button at the bottom of the umbrella or the top of the upturned umbrella. And I'm just using a little bit of the darker shades along the edges, along the base, inside the umbrella to give it that shaded look. For the duck itself, I'm using a couple of yellows under the cast shadow of the hat around the eyes that are more deeply set, under the bill, along the edges of the face, along the base of the fingers, or the, I guess, feathers of the little ducky's hands or wings. And then I'm going back in and blending with a lighter shade and then re-emphasizing again with the darkest shade. That's pretty much my coloring sequence. Light, dark, light again, and then dark again, just to get a good amount of shading in there. The bill, I'm using a little light yellow orange and then a darker along the edges and the inset areas around the beak. I thought I would repeat that green color one more time for the handle of the umbrella. And now I'm using a white gel pen. This is a Uniball Sakura white gel pen, and I'm just adding some highlight marks to the tops of the edges of each segment of the umbrella, along the bill of the hat, along the top of the little ducky's bill, along the handle, and along the colors of his little hat as well, just to give it a kind of a high shine look. Now I thought I would doodle in a kind of a puddle around the base of the umbrella. And I'm using a Copic multi-liner pen. I couldn't find my thicker pen. I don't know where I've put it. So I'm actually going over the lines twice. And it wasn't as neat as I liked, but I thought I would go ahead and do this and then Copic color it and then go over it with a thicker point pen that isn't Copic friendly, but that I thought would give it a cleaner look for that doodling. So I'm using a couple of BG colors, some blue-green colors, to color in this little puddle around the bottom of the umbrella. And as you can see, even though the colors are different from each other, on a single coating of the colors, they look very similar. So I'm going in 2 or 3 extra times for the darker areas of the puddle. Now, this is a non-Copic friendly pen. It's a Faber-Castell Pitt Artist pen in an XS or extra small point, and that is cleaning up the image of the puddle very nicely. I also decided I was going to add a little drop so it looks like there's a little splashing happening with the puddle, and I'm taking very careful flicking motions to color in that drop because, again, that marker, that Pitt pen marker, is not Copic friendly, so I didn't want it to bleed. Now I've die cut out of some handmade purple paper. This has some good texture, and I die cut out a little ring to create a frame for this image with my dies, the circle dies, the nesting dies, and I'm using some of the pattern paper to decorate up the card front. I love this plaid. The colors in it are so bright and cheerful, and I had a little scrap of this striped paper with the same colors in it, so I'm going to put that along the edge to add a little interest. I'm going to cut off the excess with my guillotine cutter, and I wanted a little bit more of a separation. I also wanted to cut off the ragged edge there. And then I wanted to create a little kind of clean line of demarcation. So I cut a little strip off of that same textured handmade paper, that purple that would repeat from that ducky frame. And I've backed the back of this image with some double-sided foam adhesive to add a little bit of dimension so that this is raised up a little bit from the card base. And I love how that came out. It came out clean, but really bright and cheerful. For the sentiment inside the card, I'm using the add-on to this month's card kit that has a whole bunch of great sentiments. And this says, "Don't let life's puddles get you down." And with the extra little scrap of that striped pattern paper, I'm adding a little bit of interest to the bottom of that inside liner. I also thought I would glue that on to the inside liner and then decided I wanted to have, again, a little demarcation. So I'm going to glue on a little strip of that purple textured paper, and that's the inside liner. I think it came out really cute and nicely coordinates with the front. Now to add a little bit of sparkle and some added interest and texture, I'm going to use the multi-matte medium, which is also included in the add-on for this month's kit, and glue on the sequins that are part of this collection. I thought adding a little sparkle and kind of reflecting, dewdrops or water droplets along the diagonally across this card would be a fun way to add a little extra interest to this otherwise pretty simple card. And I love these little sequins that are part of the kit. This is my completed card. I hope you've enjoyed this process video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And thanks for joining me today. I hope you guys are having a wonderful crafty day. See you in the next one. Bye.